channel. Usually I would record a little bit earlier in the day, but I've been so busy with this new addition. Little Emma. Yes, she's such a good girl. Okay, go play. So this video is a little bit different. I'm not trying on leggings in this video. This video is about why I started keto. Just the other day I went to Starbucks and I got my usual, right? A grande cold brew with heavy cream and no sweetener. The barista was like, "Are you on keto?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Why?" And he was like, "Oh, a lot of people are getting that drink because they're on keto." I'm like, "Oh." It's really crazy how it's gaining a lot of momentum right now, which I think is amazing. And it's not just like a fad diet. And he was asking me like, "Oh, are you doing it just for weight loss?" And that's why I wanted to do this video, because a lot of people think keto is just for weight loss. And that's really not the case. So basically I started keto because I was diagnosed with a hormonal disorder called PCOS, Poly Cystic Ovary Syndrome. So I just wanted to talk about this disorder that I have because apparently it's more common than people think. I did a little bit of research about it. So PCOS was discovered in 1700s, which is crazy. It's been around for that long and we really don't know anything about it. There's no cure for it. Nobody really knows what's the reason or the cause of PCOS, which I think is like mind-blowing, because how can something be around for so long and we still don't know anything about it? There was a study done at the University of Alabama, and the study showed that PCOS can be genetic. 24% of the women with PCOS had a mother who was positive for PCOS. 32% of the women with PCOS also had a sister who had PCOS. I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2014. I'm pretty sure I had PCOS for longer, but none of the doctors was able to diagnose me properly. One of my first symptoms was having no period, and I didn't have a period since 2012. So I was on birth control for about 2 to 3 years, and my period stopped while I was on birth control. I went to the doctor and the doctor said, "Oh, it's normal for some women to lose their period when they're on birth control." I was on the pill. So I was like, okay, well, I guess it's better for me. I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought it was like a relief. That was something I didn't have to deal with. I could just go about my day and not worry about cramping, staining my pants. I lost my period while on birth control. And then I decided to stop taking the pill just because it was making me crazy, like bipolar mood swings. Like I was a totally different person while I was on the pill. I stopped taking the pill and I was expecting for my period to come back, and it didn't. I went back to the doctor and the doctor said, "Oh yeah, it takes some time for women to regain their cycle back after being on hormonal birth control." So I said okay, and that was that. I waited a few more months and I still didn't get a period, and I went back to the doctor and same thing. She just said the same thing. It takes a while for some women to gain it back, and sometimes it takes like a year to get it back. I got married in 2014. I still didn't get a period. By this time I didn't get a period in like over a year, and I stopped taking birth control. It wasn't natural to not have a period, and I knew that it wasn't something that my body will get back. I knew there was something wrong. There was something underneath everything that the doctors didn't even want to investigate. It was just something they just, "Oh yeah, you'll get it back. It just takes time." I had to put Emma away. She was just being way too rowdy. Now I'm out of breath. So basically I felt like the doctors were just brushing me off. My concerns weren't really important to them. They didn't even like run any tests or anything like that. And I knew that something was wrong. I went to an OBGYN. She did some tests and she said, "I'm running some tests for this, but I don't think you have that. But I just want to run the test just to rule that out." So I'm like, okay. A few days later, I was at work and I got a phone call from her, the doctor. She basically told me the tests showed that I was positive, and I was like, oh, okay. I went to go see her the next day and she sat me down and she said, so it turns out that you do have polycystic ovary syndrome.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And you have like a string of pearls around your ovaries. And I was like, oh, I don't understand because you said you didn't think I had it. Why would you say that? And she told me, women with this disorder, you can clearly tell that they do have PCOS. She said, majority of the time, they're overweight or they're obese. They have excessive hair on their face, their neck, their back, or their chest. They have severe acne, like on their chest, on their back, on their face. Some women even have like skin tags or like dark patches of skin. They have male pattern baldness. She was just listing all these things, how you can clearly tell how women with PCOS, like you can tell just by looking at them that usually they do have PCOS. And I didn't have any of those things. So obviously that scared the crap out of me. Like, holy crap. And not only that, but she told me that I'm going to have trouble conceiving because I have this disorder. 80% of women with PCOS are diagnosed as infertile. So she gave me a referral to a reproductive endocrinologist. Not only did I go home knowing that I might be overweight or obese in the near future. I might have insulin resistance, which leads to diabetes. I'm at a higher risk for cancer. I might have male pattern baldness. I might start developing acne everywhere or grow excessive hair. I feel like I was being thrown with all these like double whammies, like triple whammies. You're gonna be obese, gonna have diabetes, you're gonna have cancer. Oh, and you can't have kids. So after learning that was like a real shock. I was doing some research about it. A lot of women with PCOS are able to reverse the symptoms. Women who are obese or overweight, they can just lose the weight and they can start conceiving. They get a regular menstrual cycle. I went through a really dark time in my life where I just felt embarrassed and ashamed just because, I mean, I'm a woman and I'm not even able to do what a woman is supposed to do. I'm not able to have kids. It was a real heartbreaker for me. So me and my husband started seeing a reproductive endocrinologist. They put me on some hormones so I can start ovulating and things like that. And needless to say, nothing worked. And then also at this time, I was researching about PCOS and how to fix it. And there's also lean women with PCOS. Not all women with PCOS are overweight or obese. Even though obesity can make insulin resistance worse, lean women with PCOS also have insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is a major red flag for prediabetes, and it often escalates to full-blown diabetes. And I was like thinking, okay, well, what causes like all these features, growing of hair and skin tags and gaining weight and all that? And it turns out your pancreas develops extra insulin. It basically shuts down the ovaries. So your ovaries are not able to produce as much estrogen, and it leads to higher the normal levels of male hormones, also known as androgens. This includes testosterone. Basically, when your ovaries shut down, it interferes or it completely stops ovulation. So a lot of women with PCOS will have irregular menstrual cycles, or they just don't have a period at all, which is what happened to me. I just didn't have one at all. So the irregular periods or the amenorrhea causes the infertility, and that produces the cysts. Like I said previously, fortunately, a lot of women can reverse some of these symptoms just by losing the weight and changing their diet, or they can perform surgery on the ovaries where they remove the cysts, or they can start taking ovulation-inducing medication. But like everything, the surgery is temporary. Just because they remove the cysts, it doesn't stop the cysts from coming back. The ovary never releases the egg, so you never ovulate. That egg turns into a cyst. Women with PCOS often have multiple cysts on a single ovary, anywhere from at least 25 or more cysts on one ovary alone. When you have PCOS, you're at a higher risk for endometrial cancer, just because when you have your period, you're able to shed the lining of the uterus every month. And when you don't have a regular period, the lining of the uterus continues to grow and thicken. It never sheds. This triples the risk for endometrial cancer. Reading about all this, hearing what other women did to try and get pregnant. Some women, they took metformin. Other women, they just took like those ovulation inducing medication like Clomid, and it worked for them. And there was other women, all they needed to do was lose weight and they got their period back. With me, I was never overweight. We tried Clomid and it didn't work. I also tried the metformin and it didn't work. And I also read that the keto diet, the ketogenic diet, helps women regulate their hormones somehow. The ketogenic diet is low in insulin in nature. You're not intaking any carbohydrates. Your insulin doesn't spike at all. It allows the pancreas to not produce excess insulin. After learning and researching about all the stories about all these women doing this diet, I decided I was just gonna go all in and do this diet. And let me tell you, this was like the scariest thing I've ever done. It's a little bit scary because you're told all your life not to eat so much fat. You try the keto diet and it's like 70% fat what you're eating. It was definitely a big change. All my friends, all my family, they were like, what are you eating? I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with it. I'm just gonna do it and we'll just see what happens. You know, I have nothing else to lose. Needless to say, 4 years later, I'm here. It has completely changed my life. Just the benefits you get just from eating keto, it's not just for weight loss, but you get that mental clarity. You're not ruled by your stomach on when to eat anymore. Before, when I was hungry, it's like I need to eat now and everything must stop because I need to eat now. I can tell you that eating this way has completely changed my life. And not only that, but my mood has completely changed. Before, I feel like it was so easy for me to just like turn a switch and I'll be angry. Now it's just like I'm more calm. It's harder for me to be anxious about something. Usually I would have anxiety about everything, about going to the store, about going to put gas. I would just have this crippling anxiety, like I didn't want to do anything. And I would feel tired all the time. It was so hard for me to maintain my weight. I would need to do cardio every day to maintain my weight. And when I started eating keto, I didn't even work out for months. When you're going through the transition phase, you feel like crap and you don't want to work out anyways. But not only that, it was effortless for me to maintain my weight. I just wanted to make this video just to spread awareness about PCOS. If you haven't gotten your period, go get checked. Even if the doctors don't want to check you, be persistent and have them do an ultrasound, because that's what's going to tell you if you have PCOS or not. I had to be so persistent in order to find out that I did have PCOS, just because I was young and none of the doctors really cared. I think in their head, they're like, oh, she's still young. She doesn't need to worry about kids right now, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the point. Like, if there's something wrong with your body, you want to know what's wrong with it. Just a little quick aside. After learning that I had PCOS and going through the fertility treatments and nothing worked, I decided to go get my first tattoo. Well, now I have more tattoos, but my very first tattoo was actually this bunny here. My mom was so pissed when she found out that I got it. And I was already like 24, so it's like, Mom, I'm grown already. I can get tattoos. I got this bunny because it represents fertility to me. Bunnies are known to be extremely fertile, and that's why I got it. There's nothing more in the world that I want than to be a mom. A lot of people have been asking, what's up with the bunny? Do I like bunnies? No, it's not that I like bunnies, but I got it because it symbolizes fertility for me, and I got it as a good luck charm. I hope this video has been insightful. If there's any other videos that you would like me to talk about, let me know. And we just got back from Hawaii. I'll post some clips at the end of this video if you guys want to see. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Is that ice cream? I mean, you can't take it back anyway. It's better.
I'll wait for you all this time, my straight